Before we get underway, can we get everyone to register? Hey guys, so we're just trying to set up streaming, but the Wi-Fi is probably too patchy to do that. So we're going to record it and post it afterwards. Before we start, would you mind all just, if you have access to Facebook here, going to our group and filling out the registration form? We get funding from the Graduate Students Association, and the amount of funding we get depends on how many members we have. So the more members we have, the more money free of charge we have, and the more we can do. So a lot of people have liked the group on Facebook, and we've got a lot of members there, but not many of them are actually converting that into a registration. So if you could do that, that would be really helpful. Other than that, so I'll introduce Dr. Daniel Trevena, who's an anaesthetics registrar here at Royal Melbourne, who's going to be giving us an introduction to wilderness and expedition medicine.
Not a real doctor. Just a pretend one. How you going? I'm Dan. I'm an anaesthetics reg here, and I met Tom a few months ago when I got an email relatively out of the blue saying that you guys were starting a wilderness medicine society, which I think is a great idea for a number of reasons. One of which being that I did exactly the same thing about 5 years ago when I was a med student in Sydney. I started a Sydney Uni Wilderness Medicine Society, which is now defunct, I'm sure, but it was basically a few mates and I wanting to learn a bit more about this thing that we didn't really understand called wilderness medicine, and also try and legitimise medicine as a way to get outdoors and do some fun stuff. So it's with great pleasure to do your first presentation tonight. There's a few things I'll say. We initially talked about doing some stuff on altitude medicine, but I think maybe I'll just do a brief overview of what I think wilderness medicine is, and then tell you a bit about what I've done, which is not a great deal, but we'll talk about that, and then try and give you some ideas of where to go and what to do if you're interested in this kind of thing. Because I think when I was in your shoes, that's what I found the hardest was. I knew I was really excited about doing some stuff, but I didn't really know what to do about it, or even what I wanted to do. So I'll try and give you some ideas tonight. That's really the main session. So I'll start with this quote, which I quite like, by John Muir. So thousands of tired, nerve-shaken, over-civilised people are beginning to find out that going to the mountains is going home, that wilderness is a necessity. And I would argue that this is becoming more and more relevant to everyone in society, but particularly us and you as med students, soon to be doctors in the coming years. So what we'll talk about, I'll talk a little bit about what I think wilderness medicine is. Tell you a bit about my experience. I'll tell you about a trip that I did last year, which was probably my most significant experience in both climbing and in wilderness medicine, and try and give you some ideas and stimulus to talk about. So a few things to say. I'm not really very good at giving lectures, to be honest, and I don't want this to be a didactic session. This isn't really a didactic topic. I would hope if you're here at 6 o'clock that it's of interest to you, not because it's a lecture that you have to go to for med school. So I really want it to be more of a discussion. So if you have questions or comments or anything, just interrupt me. This is not me standing at the lecture, speaking down at you. And on that note, I might ask what you guys do. I know you're all second year medical students, but can you just sort of call out some outdoor things that you're interested in? I'm not looking for, I was the expedition doctor down to Antarctica for this winter, blah, blah, blah. I just want I like skiing, or, what do you guys do outdoors? Snowboarding, very good, excellent. And you've got an accent, where are you from?
Canada.
Did you learn to snowboard in Canada?
It's pretty good there.
It is, it's better than Australia, that's all right. Anyone else? Does anyone else do anything outdoors, or do you all just sit inside and read textbooks? Bushwalking.